Hello again, everybody. This is Amorgin, and you're very welcome to the third installment of the Community Panel Discussion Guide, the independent roundtable where we bring together players from a variety of different servers to discuss all things Star Trek Fleet Command. And today, the issue we're bringing to you guys is one that's not spoken about so often openly. It's around the idea of addiction, guys, gambling addictions, protecting the vulnerable members of our community. The community speaking up to try to protect and help vulnerable members that are out there. What Scopely could perhaps do in terms of a duty of care to assist the community in looking out for their more vulnerable members. And we get toward discussing as well, what are these items that are available in the store that we buy, people's spending habits, and how we're attracted to buy certain offers in the store. We'll take a little bit of a look at that and discuss, is there any chance that this might indicate future content as well. So sit back, guys, grab your cuppa, join us for the next 30 minutes or so, and drop your comments below, weigh in with your opinions, and come and join us on Discord if you wish to engage further. Okay, guys, it's my great pleasure to introduce Anesius from server 131. How are you doing, Anesius?
Hey. So I should talk a little bit about myself. I'm from server 131. I was in the first panel where we discussed a lot of subjects, and glad to be here again.
Next, I'm going to introduce Imperial Fett. How are you doing, Fett? Are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. I'm doing well. I play on server 23. I've been playing since late November.
Okay, so next we want to introduce Beyond the Stars again, another contributor. How are you keeping, Heck?
Good, and you?
I'm not too bad, thanks very much.
So, as most of you should know by now, since this is my third panel, I'm on two servers, 28 and 32. So, I started playing in February. My main account is on 28, which it's level 25. It's taken a while starting to run low on that uncommon, but all in all, just hanging in there.
Okay, and finally, and last but not least, I want to introduce Thaler Harmer.
Hi, doing Morgan. My name is Taylor Harmer. I live in California in the United States. I've been playing since mid-December, and I'm a free-to-play player. Just hit Ops 28 with 0 faction ships. So I'm a unique player. I'm a grinder. I thank you for inviting me to the panel.
No problem at all. You're all very welcome. We're all very familiar with each other at this stage. I think we've been chatting a number of times. We've logged up a few hours chatting to each other. So it's a great pleasure for me to be able to welcome you guys into this. And we have a couple of topics we'd like to talk about. We have a big list, but today we want to focus on loot boxes, offers in the store, that kind of thing. There's a couple of issues under that we want to look at. We've talked about the idea that, for example, people might have issues with gambling. There's legislation gone through in a number of different countries regarding gambling within gaming. We're going to touch on that a little bit. We're going to touch upon the sort of player who plays these games and may be at risk of getting caught with these sort of gambling mechanics that may exist within games. And we're going to look at whether that is a factor within Star Trek Fleet Command. And finally, we're going to look at the offers that are in the store, the stuff that you are actually paying your money for, and what that seems to indicate going forward for Star Trek Fleet Command. Is it an indicator of other stuff coming out?
Well, let's kind of define, what a loot box kind of is. If you kind of think about it, a loot box is you're spending real money to gain virtual items or services in a virtual game, to then get a random, not specific, but a random result. And so this is where there's a lot of contention and a lot of different municipalities around the world, Australia, UK, Europe, United States, where this randomness is the issue, and that's where this gambling concept comes in, and where a lot of municipalities want to make that illegal.
No, I don't really study too much into laws, but I can tell you that there have been some senators in the United States that have been trying to make some legislation against it, put loot boxes in games that are a certain age or older. So like, rated M, so 17 plus can have loot boxes, but anything below that can't. Might not be M, might be like E10 plus. But there's definitely an age that they want to limit people to where people, have their brains develop more, can think about it, and know the consequences of their action.
I wonder, it's like what we're talking here is like we're playing a slot machine. How random are the what we get in those boxes, and how we should have more information as well, because if for the game to be for the laws to be managed, more information should get out about it. And I think that this game works like that, but not advertised like that.
Yeah, well, I suppose to be clear in terms of what we're talking about here, it's more to do with the officer boxes. When you buy a box that has officers in it, and you want to get Kirk, or you want to get Spock, or you want to get whoever it is, and you open up a box, there's a random chance of any one of them appearing. And there are other content creators out there who have made content just on doing what they call pulls, opening these boxes repeatedly. And this is a common thing throughout a number of Scopely games, the idea of pulls and what you're going to get out of this, the random occurrence. I don't feel personally that it's a heavy thing, because I'm free to play. I don't spend an awful lot of money on these boxes, but I'm conscious that there are lots of offers in the store. There's lots of spending that does go on, and this is one of the factors. And I suppose it's relating it to something I'd mentioned before in terms of a duty of care, that a company would have a duty of care to people if there are those who are more vulnerable than the average person, for example, and will spend more money than they can afford because they've got an addictive personality, and something like the officer packs are going to draw you in.
So do you remember, I think it was around March, maybe late April, or maybe late February, I'm sorry, they had the Spock pack initially, where you had a guaranteed number of officer shards for an officer, and they've been doing that recently with other, packs like the Romulan pack and specific mining packs and stuff like that. So in those packs, I don't recall there being random items, random tokens.
Okay, yeah, well, that was a special offer thing, I think, that was on. I'm talking about, is there an option there, for example, right now about officers there, that you can just go into the store and buy shards?
Yes, you can buy premium shards, you can buy ultra shards. A lot of these packs have them as add-ons to them.
Right.
So that technically, you buy an offer, $100 offer, $50 offer, and it comes with a couple thousand of these tokens, which then are randomly generated officers, which technically is gambling.
Right. That's the thing that I would be concerned with. And the legislation that's out there around that, is it recognised in a game like this that is the case? Are we as players of this game limited into as to what we can buy? Are there restrictions on Scopely because of laws that are being brought in?
If you don't know the laws, if you don't have any information about that, for instance, in China you have some laws. So that's why you have like Macau. I don't know how to say it in English, where you have a lot of casinos and a lot of things that. So the laws changes can change drastically from, I don't know if Switzerland, for example, you have different laws or not, or something like that. But if the game is not if it's not seen like it's gambling, it will never be looked upon. But it is.
Well, let's look at the United Kingdom, for example. For example,
Mm.
in the United Kingdom, the executive director of the UK Gambling Commission, they constitute gambling as any type of game of chance inside the game, which technically would be like our PVE and PvP boxes. I would think the way they describe it. I considered loot boxes only when you pay real money for random items. But in some municipalities, they're not making a distinction.
I mean, Taylor, you're saying like only money, but you know, I can still open those exact same chests as you, and I'm a free to play, so in a way, I see what you're saying, but sometimes, like, you know, if they come out with this new officer or something, I'd be inclined, like, they're hoping that someone like me would be tempted to buy a pack for getting the new officer as well.
So, you know, I don't have a problem with the company who is there to make money, by the way, and they have investors, and you know, they need to offer a pack that says, "Hey, here is Decius, or here is Harrison, or whatever, and here are
Hmm.
20 shards for $30 or something like that." Whatever. I'm purposely fine with that as long as there's a way in game to also generate those shards.
But in the game, about everything in the game, you can have it without spending any money. Only the dvor now you cannot. The actual everything else, it's grindable, if I can say grindable. So they can always be. Scopely can always say no. And we have the free to play version, and we have the pay to play version. So. People can choose, so it's their problem, not mine. It's the thing is that the reality is not always like that, and they make it so improbable to get sometimes the shards you need, because we all more or less want the same ones. So we know, like you want Kirk, you want Gork, and you want that little list, and so they know exactly what you want, and they make it so random that how random can it be? But like I said, if they offer, and like Hack say, if they offer the free to play version, well, you can always you can always do that. Only the Dvor now, it's not free to play right now.
My concern would be along the lines of that we deal with people on a daily basis. We're at war with each other. We're fighting with each other. Sometimes people's real lives spill over into this. People's mental health becomes an issue. I've had to raise that before in videos, and I'm just conscious from a community point of view that there is that duty of care on all of us to look after those more vulnerable in our communities, in our company, and in our games, and in our lives. For example, you guys there, I wouldn't like to think that some of you guys are going through a difficult time in your lives and that the game was adding any pressure to it or whatever. So when you add gambling into it, it's not something I feel like I don't have an issue with that. I don't buy the boxes, so I don't feel it. But I'd have a concern that there might be others out there, and that what's there to protect them?
Well, that's the thing. We don't have the controls of legislation in many parts of the world to control people's, people's ability just to buy boxes in a game where you can literally press a button in your game, and then moments later you've just spent $100, or 1,000. You can literally spend 1,000 euros, in a couple of minutes. So that maturity of someone is something where we're trying to protect. Now, I don't know if Scopely has some kind of algorithm they see where someone's buying offers, unusually, and they say, "Hey, are you sure this is what you want?" Maybe they contact them in game or something like that. I don't know what kind of controls they have, but when you buy items randomly, or to get buy with real money to get a chance to buy something rather than a fixed number of shards or a fixed number of tokens or whatever, then technically in many of these municipalities it is considered gambling. And I know in my alliance I see some people make the comment like, you know what, payday's not till Friday, why don't they extend the offer so I can buy this, blah blah blah. Those type of people you got to be very worried about, because they're spending probably way too much money on the game, which should just be entertainment. It shouldn't be an addiction.
Regarding that, I've said the same thing, come to think of it, but if there's a pack for, let's just say, in my example, there was a protest pack or something like that, I was like, yeah, it's $100. I'll grab it, but that's going to be my limit for the rest of the month. But some people don't know when to stop.
Yes, I think that's it's a very sensible subject, because well, we all have the liberty to spend our money where we want. If we prefer to spend the extra that we have to buy luxury things, would it be alcohol or tobacco or getting out or whatever people enjoy? If it's gaming people enjoy, people should spend their money on it. And I totally agree with that, but it's very difficult to. So my question is, what these kind of games that are not advertising at gambling, but actually use a lot of their content as random, I don't know, I'm giving ideas, should Scopely have like a FAQ just on that, so if people need help, if in the questions, the FAQ, you can have like
a health warning.
Yes, like a health warning saying, if you think you need help about some, I don't know, I'm sure that you have this warning in other stuff, like
I would have played Final Fantasy 11, goes back to about 2002, I think, when it started, and that's a long time ago now, and at the start of that load up screen it would warn you not to forget about your real life, your family, your friends, that this game can absorb you an awful lot, and to remember to take a break.
Yeah, something like that. And if you need someone to speak, here's the number, or the email, or if you need any help, something like that. Something that would not admit, because they are not doing anything that it's not being done. So let's just say it out there. But they are.
No, we're not here, I suppose, we're not here to criticise Scopely or point a finger of blame at Scopely necessarily.
Yes.
Improve the community.
Not warn. Maybe it's a bad word, but to
support the community.
Improve the community. Support the community. Yes, that would be better.
I've always found it interesting talking to different people in the community, the different backgrounds they come from. Like, I've talked to people who are hospitalised an awful lot, for example, and this is their only social outlet. People who are stuck in their home because they have mobility issues, and their friends are largely on Discord.
I had a girl in my server now. I needed some help because, actually, since we started doing these panels, the server has increased a little bit, and I went to other servers, so I looked a lot, and suddenly I needed moderators. I'm like, oh, I need help with this. So two persons came, actually it's Back and Moon. They came and they said, oh, I can offer some help with this. Can you come? And she was actually people in the server where someone said, oh, these people, they don't have nothing to do. They come here and they just get a life or something like that. And she came and she said, oh, well, actually, this is my social life. I have this situation that makes me be at home, and this game is actually where I have my family and that, but this game is actually my social life. And then it also, it brought that issue that this is because of the community, and because it's not just a game, it actually is a community. It's not only about playing. It's about the people that are playing and the time that people have and what they invest. Money
So
or
what you're
time
saying to me there, Inesius, is there does exist on the internet a place where there are women that people can go and talk to them, the real women on the internet in this forum, and you provide that forum.
What? What are you saying? Sorry. What did you say?
Oh, I'm having a laugh at you. There is a myth out there that there are no women on the internet. You're challenging that myth by your presence, but you're telling me there are more women out there that.
Yeah, well,
There's another saying that. There's another saying. I'm sorry, that nobody knows that you're a dog on the internet.
Yeah,
Right.
of course. You can be whatever, right? That's what you're saying?
But we're digressing from the topic.
We are.
A little bit.
Which is fine. Which is
together.
fine. I want to see. I want to see if Heck is with us, because Heck's the one that suggested this topic for tonight, and we just fleshed it out a wee bit. But Heck is another take in terms of more direct, I suppose, information or speculation for that's out there regarding the offers that are in there at the moment, what you can spend your money on.
Yeah, even though I don't see these packs, because thankfully the community talks about it. But so what I noticed today after everyone started uploading pictures, so I mean, I have to give credit to the other people, is the fact that the ship packs, they're starting to offer more blueprints, even though like they say the same number, like for like the Bortus pack or something. I'll have to give an image to Amorgin, but it says that there's 34 blueprints in it, but it's giving you 50 blueprints instead. So they're lowering the prices, because it used to be $300, now it's $200 for something like a Bortus, a Centurion. But
Now, are we
the
going to shoot
Mayflowers-
ourselves? Are we going to shoot ourselves in the foot here? And tell Scopely, basically let Scopely know that there's more blueprints than advertised coming out of their product, and then end up with less.
Oh, yeah, I can't say that. Yeah, I just edited that out of the video then. But, maybe it's like, it's either that, they messed up, which, if so, then I hope they don't fix it, but maybe they're trying to, like, sell us something, because something's coming up soon that will, like, lower the value of this, like, it's a last-minute sale.
So, when you're in a market store or whatever, when they I don't know if you ever go to Costco or whatever, look at the prices over there. This is a store in the United States. It's a major brand that they adjust the prices of items they want to remove from their stocks. So maybe this is like they're trying to get people to get these ships, so that when the G4 does come out, then they adjust the offers accordingly.
Yes, I could see that happening. We know that Armadas is coming, and they want to get people prepared as possible. Could be a lead into that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the most likely scenario, and given that G4 ships are on the way at some point as well, it's not an unreasonable suggestion by Heck there that it's some sort of a sale. Now, you would think that they'd stick a big flashy symbol up on the screen going, "We have a sale on," but I suppose we get that every day, don't we? So yeah, we're gonna wrap it up, guys. We've been at this topic for a long time. We've got a load of topics to get through. We're going to do a few more of these videos and try to cover a whole range of stuff that's out there being talked about within the community. Before we do finish up, though, guys, I'm wondering, is there anything there in terms of the next video you guys would like to see?
I would like to talk about the row or the MA, like we say in our server, and always Armadas, of course, until they are here.
Speculate at the ideas of Armadas. That's what you want to do?
Always.
Okay,
Yeah, that
well,
could take a while.
we've done a little bit on that already. I'm sure we'll come back to it. Heck, have you anything there you think is a burning issue needs to be discussed?
No, you know me. You know I'm all about those ships.
Fair enough, yeah. Fet, anything there you'd like to see done in the panel?
I'm good with whatever, really. The Armadas is going to be a big addition.
My thing, I mean, I would love to talk about Row, and then that kind of goes to player-based content versus scopely generated content. Kind of like the difference between that. That's like a subtopic of that, basically with Row. But my thing I would probably like is more of like the UI, day-to-day simple things, controls in the game. I'm kind of technical developer background, so that interests me the most.
Okay, and all quality of life stuff there. I see an awful lot of stuff that you focus on when we're talking about the quality of life improvements for players, and I'm sure there's plenty of other ideas out there apart from what we have discussed ourselves. Okay, guys, I want to thank you for dropping in. I guess just to summarise, we're saying to people to just check themselves if they find that they're pushing their financial limits. We're saying to Scopely to just take on board gently what we're saying around like maybe a FAQ or some sort of links to supports if people find themselves in difficulty or crisis within the game, and the possibility there that these deals, we'll call them, in the packs that we seem to have being screenshotted and sent around the community, that maybe this is intentional, and maybe this is preparation for armadas and G4 ships and things like that, which is a fair enough piece of speculation, I would say. So, armadas, surely. Okay, guys. I'm going to wrap it up, I think, at that. We'll try and get a few more of these out. Like I say, there's plenty of content in this. There's plenty of topics to be discussed. And until the next panel discussion, guys, remember, come and join us on Discord. Leave your comments below on this video. Feel free to come in and join us. Don't be shy, guys. It's all about the community. It's all about hearing what the people from the ground up are saying here. And if possible, we might even be able to get you in here and chat with us and throw out your ideas if you're not that shy and you're happy to get in and put yourself out there a little bit on YouTube and these forums. So until the next one, take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and we'll catch you all again soon. Cheers.